about, I'd say 16 hours, 9 hours, 16 hours on a plane.
Teacher, I think ID card have to.
Yep.
Okay.
So, when I first came to Taiwan, it was, I think, 21 hours on a plane. So, I slept the whole time. Too long, a little bit too long. But that's from Wisconsin, from the middle of the U.S. to Taiwan. But if you leave from like California to Taiwan, it's shorter, it's closer, so it's not as long. But I really want to go to Hawaii.
So hot.
Yeah. My dad was born in Hawaii, so my grandma and grandpa had a house in Hawaii many years ago. But then they moved to the north. They moved back to the U.S. and their house was sold. And back then, it was cheap, very cheap. But now it's so expensive. So they regret it a little bit. They wish they would have stayed there because their house would have been very cheap. But yeah, have you guys been anywhere in Taiwan besides Taipei? Like maybe Hualien or Yilan? You've been to Yilan? Yilan.
Yeah.
What about Taichung, Tainan? No?
Yeah, it's cheaper too.
Yeah.
And very free.
Yeah. Have you gone there? Every year they have a festival where you can go and play in the water, a water festival in the summer. And I went last year. But I think Yilan is very pretty. And have you gone surfing? Surfing?
Good mountain and good water.
Yeah, good water. Yeah, so it's a very nice place. And it's close. It's not too far. So, can you drive? Can you drive? A little. What about scooter?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody can drive a scooter. We drove to Yilan, and there's like a very long cave, like what is it called? It's like you go into the mountain when you're driving, so it's pretty cool. But if you don't take the highway, you can take the mountain road, right?
Yeah.
There's a mountain road. And then you go up the mountain and then back down. And there's Yilan right there. But yeah, Yilan has surfing, swimming, their night market.
Yeah.
Their night market is very cool. Other than that, I heard their seafood, fish, the fish market, very good. My family, we buy our fish in Yilan all the time because their fish is always fresh. If not in Yilan, we buy it in Miaoli. Miaoli also has a really good fish market. But I've been to everywhere in Taiwan but Alishan. I haven't been there. And where else? I think only Alishan. I haven't been to Alishan. Huh? What? Oh, no, I haven't been there either. I've been to Green Island, Green Island, and I've been. There's like 3 islands, right? 3 or 4. I've only been to Green Island, but there's Jinmen, right? Jinmen. That's where that alcohol, the Jinmen. My husband, his father loves Jinmen. He loves it. I see many older men in Taiwan. They like to drink Jinmen. It's very strong. It tastes bad. But let's see. Yeah. So anyway, so I'm gonna show you guys an airport. So an airport is really important to go through if you want to travel. Because there's only 2 ways you can get out of Taiwan. A boat or an airplane. So the airport is where you'll probably go through, okay? So let's see here. Okay, so if you want to travel, let's say you want to go somewhere cold. You want to go to a cold country. What would you bring? What do you need to bring?
Money.
Money. What else?
Cell phone.
Cell phone. What about clothes? You couldn't go naked. You gotta wear clothes. Clothes, warm clothes, maybe a jacket. Maybe like those hand warmers. You know, you can put in your gloves, hand warmers. Toothbrush. What else? Camera. Yep, camera is important. What if you go outside of Taiwan? What do you need? There's something very important you need. It's a little book. And it's green. You guys know? Your passport. Your passport, your visa. You need those things to leave Taiwan and go to another country, right? And if you want to even get inside an airport, you have to give them your passport. So when we first get to an airport, when we first get there, so we have doors, and you go through the doors, and the first place you want to go is check-in, the check-in counter. So let's say you want to go to the US. So you have to find which company, which plane company you bought your ticket from. So let's say I want to go through Delta. Delta is an airplane company. Or Taiwan, you have Evergreen or China Air. They're both different types of planes. So you have to go to the check-in counter. So let's just say we'll go to Evergreen. So you go through the doors. And you go to the check-in counter. So what does check-in mean? So check is like this, right? In is in, not out. So check-in means you are saying, I am here. I am here. So at the check-in, there's always a lot of people, because many people every day take an airplane. So you might have to wait in line. So usually there's a line. So you go. Okay, anyway. So you go in, and here's the check-in, and then you wait in line, right? You wait in line. Once you get to the counter, so there's a counter here, and there's like a woman, her hair is up like this, yeah? She's the secretary, and she needs one thing from you. two things from you. The first thing she needs is your passport. So you have to give her your passport. The second thing she needs is your luggage. Because your luggage needs to go on the plane. So she takes your luggage and sees how big is it and how heavy. If it's over, I think it's like 50, you have to pay money. Usually about 75 US dollars, which is over 2,000 NT for one luggage. So you can only have one person, one luggage. But if your luggage is too heavy, you have to pay money. So she takes your luggage and she takes your passport. And then she scans your passport, and then she has a computer, right? So she looks on the computer and your passport has a little number. And that number tells her that you bought your ticket. So most times you don't get your ticket. You have to first go to the airport to get your ticket. So after she's taken your luggage and your passport, she gives you your ticket. And maybe she asks you, where do you want to sit? So sit on a seat. So she'll ask you where, because there's many different seats on an airplane. So you can choose. You can sit by a window or the aisle. The aisle is that area here. So here's a window, here's an aisle. So you can choose which one you want. And after that, you get your ticket. So you have your ticket, and she has your luggage. And then she gives you your passport back. You need your passport. And then you go to here, security. What does security mean? Security. So every country wants to protect itself from bad people. So you need to go through security because they will check if you have a gun or if you have something in your shoes or maybe a knife. They will check your body. So when you go through security, they'll say, let's say I have a bag. So they say, please put your bag in a bin. So there's like a little box, and you have to put your bag in a bin. And they'll scan it on a little computer. And they can see inside your bag. If you have something bad, they will take it, and you will be in trouble. Probably won't get to go on your plane, but they say they don't want any liquids like water or anything like maybe lipstick or hair shampoo. Anything wet is bad. Anything metal like this, that's not okay. No metal. Any computers, cell phones, you have to put in the bin because they will scan all of your stuff. And they'll ask you, do you have any metal on you? And so maybe you have a belt, right? A belt. You have to take that off and put it in the bin. Or you have a lighter for smoking. You can't take that because that's dangerous to them. Let's see what else. I think computers and cell phones, pretty much those things. In the US, you have to take off your shoes because we had some scary people attack our country many times before, and they put bombs in their shoes. So that plane was no more. Okay, so you go through security. They will also want to see your passport and your ticket. Ticket is this little thing here. So there's your ticket, and it usually has a thing here. Something like that. So you give them your ticket and your passport, and they look at it to make sure it's the right person. If it's the wrong person, you get arrested. Okay, so you go through security, and they have a machine that you have to walk through, and it scans your body. And then you go out, and you put on your shoes, put on your stuff. Now you really need to look at your ticket, because it'll tell you which way you need to go to find your airplane. So your ticket, usually in one area, it'll say maybe gate G. So you look at your ticket and it says gate G. And then you look at the signs, and it'll tell you gate AC this way, gate D to F this way, gate G to I this way. So you would go this way, right? And then it would say maybe G6. So once you get to G, so maybe this is G here. Then it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you go to number 6. And this is where your plane is. So pretty simple. I mean, airports are very big or very small. Everyone is different. The Taoyuan airport is big, very big. So it's easy to get lost in an airport, especially if you are traveling for the first time. When I was 13, I took an airplane by myself, and I got very, very lost. Very lost. So, like for example, this airport here, it's pretty big. And it's easy to get lost in such a big airport, but they have ways to help you. They have signs. And usually those signs are pictures. So what do you think this one is? Eating. So maybe there's a restaurant, somewhere to eat. What about this one? Restroom, right? Bathroom. Okay, this one's tricky. This is where you find your bag. So you take your plane and you get down. You have to find your bags. They have an area where you can pick up your bags. And this is a baggage claim, where you grab your bag. And that's where this sign is. And they'll have signs all over the airport. And they'll have arrows, like maybe it'll show this, and then next to this is an arrow. So they have an arrow right next to it. What do you think this is? Yeah, this is your passport, and this is security. But this is called customs. When you go to another country, they have an area for protection where they look at your passport and your visa. So some countries, like if I went to Japan, I don't need a visa, just my passport. But if I go to the US and I'm not American, I need a visa. So they look and they want to know, why are you in their country? So they'll say, why are you visiting? Are you working? Why are you here? And usually you just say visiting. And they'll ask you how long. And you gotta tell them. It is a very bad idea to lie. I did it once. And I was very close to getting in trouble. Very close. Because whenever I see them, I get nervous. Because they're all very stone-faced, very scary people. Okay. So this